1 cent.
What is it?
It's money.
Money.
All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. If you don't know me, my name is Brandon, and I'm a high school principal from the U.S. state of Georgia. Taking a look at yet another episode of SpongeBob today based on your recommendations. This one is from Season 5. It's called Friend or Foe. Quite a few of you have been asking about this one, and I'm going to be reacting to it for the first time here with you today. Have not seen it before, don't know anything about it. I know it has something to do with Mr. Krabs and Plankton based on your comments, but that's about all I know. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you're enjoying this content, please subscribe to the channel or become a member. Without further ado, let's get into it. Here we go. Krusty Krab.
Something ain't right.
Yeah.
For me?
Don't you find this a tad suspicious?
I was just thinking the same thing. Just a little bit suspicious here. I suspect Plankton is going to be behind this.
Yes.
Suspicion doesn't hold a candle to birthday wishing.
Surprise!
Okay.
Disengage!
All right, this is kind of crazy. So I don't know a ton about the whole Mr. Krabs Plankton relationship other than he always wants the secret formula to the Krabby Patty, and he kind of rocketed himself into the kitchen after doing all that. I'm guessing he's going to try and get the recipe or a Krabby Patty or something he can use. Let's see. There it is.
Happy birthday, Krabs!
Don't forget your condiments, Plankton.
Okay.
Attaboy, SpongeBob.
Yeah, and I've seen little parts here or there where Plankton has tried to get the formula. A lot of the episodes that I've reacted to so far that you all have asked for haven't really focused on this, but I know enough to know that. And he rockets back there. And by the way, rockets with fire underwater, that's another one of those interesting SpongeBob Bikini Bottom physics issues. But and SpongeBob actually helps Mr. Krabs out, prevent him from getting the recipe. So let's see what happens now.
I'll be back! Oh, barnacle.
I was wondering.
Why, Mr. Krabs? Why does he hate us so?
There was a time when Plankton and I were
Okay, here's the story.
best friends.
They all want to hear this. And so do I, frankly, because as far as I have ever known, they've been sort of mortal enemies here. So everybody's lining up to hear this story. And frankly, I want to hear it too.
Friends at birth, you might say. Even as wee ones.
Goo!
He's about as small as he is now. His adult self does not seem really much bigger than this, but here he is, baby Plankton. Big boys.
Things were all peaches and cream.
Peaches and cream. Poseidon Elementary. Okay, so there is a school scene in this. No one mentioned this, but I'm assuming it's only going to be a few seconds here. Poseidon Elementary. I've never heard of that. And come to think of it, I've never heard of like a regular school in the universe of SpongeBob. It's always Mrs. Puff's boating school, which is a little different than a traditional school, but here we go. And okay, it's elementary school, but people are holding smoking little cylinders of some sort of chemical, and this guy's pouring some sort of chemical from a cylinder into a beaker. I think that's what those are called. But you don't do that in elementary school, or not to my knowledge, for obvious reasons. There's some safety issues. Now, might you do some sort of lab? Yeah, but it's not going to include chemicals that are smoking like this or bubbling. I've never seen that before.
Hey, Frankie, what you doing?
Oh, just a little something I thought I'd try out.
Try out. And look how bad this is. So not only do you not normally have elementary school students that are dealing with dangerous chemicals, I can only assume they're dangerous because they are smoking, and I thought I saw one bubbling, and they're pouring them, and they are wearing little mittens of some sort. But typically before you ever start a lab, even with a more advanced high school class that would actually maybe do something like this, you go over and over and over safety procedures, lab safety procedures, what to do if a chemical gets on you. There's typically some sort of chemical bath in the room, and the teacher shows students how to use that. So it washes whatever it is off. And so you go over that over and over again. So for this kid to shoot a spitball at Plankton is just like, he would be in a lot of trouble. But look at this teacher. He's sitting at his desk reading a book. He's not even looking at the kids, much less working with them or helping them to do the lab or ensuring that safety procedures are in place and the students are following them. He's just reading a book. That's just a recipe for trouble.
Idiots! I'll show you.
Uh-oh.
It's science! This concoction's gonna blow everyone away!
Wow. And yeah, so obviously I was right. These are some potent chemicals. If you're giving elementary school students chemicals that when mixed together will cause a small explosion, yeah, that's a bit of an issue, don't you think?
How's this for a science experiment?
Where's the teacher?
Brainatron 5000.
Oh,
They'll pay for this one day, Eugene!
it didn't hurt Mr. Krabs' eyeballs. I often wonder about that because his eyeballs are way out of his head, and that doesn't seem to bother him. Even when Plankton hits him directly in the eyeball, I guess he's just fine. I don't know.
Barnacle brains, I think you owe Plankton and a
Kind of closes that.
You're right. Sorry you have to hang out with Rag Boy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, where'd you do your clothes shopping, the trash can?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering. It does look a little odd, but yeah, they're making fun of him for that, which obviously they shouldn't do. And I'm guessing that this embarrassment is somehow going to cause them to grow apart. And where's the teacher? The teacher is at his desk, I guess, just ignoring all this. It seems to be within earshot, and he's not doing a thing about it. This is like the worst teacher I've ever seen.
They did get me clothes from the trash. You see, when I was growing up, times were tough. My mother had to fashion me clothes from rags.
There you go, son. Your outfit's all finished. It's a good thing old man Jenkins was kind enough to spare his last washcloth.
Washcloth.
I missed a spot.
Then one day, while Plankton and I plotted our revenge, what in Neptune's net is that?
Yeah, and I'm guessing that this story is also going to explain why Mr. Krabs is the way that he is about money. I can see that here. And by the way, if a student really did have a patchwork outfit like that from literal rags, I mean, that would not be allowed to happen. Most schools have either programs where they are able to support students with items like that are in dire need, or other third-party organizations that will come in and help with that. But I'm interested to see where this part of their little story goes.
The most beautiful
1 cent.
baby eyes I've ever seen. What is it?
It's money!
Money. Buy things.
I spent it on a gift for me best pal, Plankton.
What's going to happen with this?
Got your secret recipe, Mr. Krabs?
I've got a pretty good idea, yeah.
So if you guys were such great friends, what happened?
Yeah, Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, I really want to know.
Listen up, Squidward. It all began at a place called Stinky Burgers.
Stinky
It was
Burgers.
the only place to get a burger. The
Stinky
kids
Burgers.
loved Stinky.
Who's Stinky?
What can I do for you, youngin'?
Mr.
He looks stinky.
I'll have one burger, please. Me too, Stinky.
Oh, now, kids. There's plenty of burgers for everyone.
You always deliver the goods.
We don't like Stinky.
Lie! Respect! Lie!
That's a weird thing to get into a fight about, I have to say.
Use us.
Valuable customers coming through.
What are those dorks doing here?
2 Stinky Burgers, please.
Did your brains dribble out onto the sidewalk you slept on last night? If it's burgers you want, go round back.
Oh, yeah, that surprised me because this guy seemed nice. He's being so nice to the other kids, but then he tells them to go around back. And are they even going to get a burger? I don't like the way this is going here.
Thanks for keeping the nerds out.
Not good.
Remember that without your kind patronage, I'd be a penniless loser like Ragboy. Do you two have kelp for brains? Don't you understand? If you two yahoos keep coming around...
But he told him to go around back. Like, that's what he said to do. He didn't just say leave. He said go around back if you want a burger. This is weird.
To make this a live,
normal customers.
Business. As it is, I can barely afford the essential things in life. Is it quitting time already?
He says he can barely afford the essential things in life, and look at this little suit he's got here with the S medallion or whatever this is and this fancy hat. That's terrible. And a golden cane.
Life's essentials.
The Life's Essentials, a limousine with a pile of cash in the back of it with a golden cane. That's pretty messed up.
Did you hear
He got
that,
$1.
Krabs? By cooking burgers for those cretins, he was able to gain their respect.
I bet if someone made a better burger, they'd have a fatter stack of loot. But who has the ability to make such a burger?
He does.
Who has the skill?
Who needs skill when science is on your side? We'll make that burger, and when we do, we will rule the school!
What in the world?
So we went back to our secret hideaway, the dump,
City dump.
to prove to those chowderheads that a burger could be semi-edible and easy to swallow.
Semi-edible. All right. Seaweed sauce, squid ink, dried kelp. I guess they're trying to make the recipe that will become the Krusty Krab recipe. Sounds pretty disgusting to me. Sweat.
Gently.
We finally emerged with the best-looking burger under the sea.
Looking.
We went back, but Stinky's had been shut down by order of the health department. So we seized the opportunity and converted our hangout into a restaurant.
Yeah, I don't think I would go to a restaurant if it had that around it. Can you imagine? You see that picnic table on the left there, sitting down just maybe a couple of feet away from a stinking debris pile like that. I don't think I could eat, no matter how good the burger was.
Into a restaurant. Our venture into capitalism began.
Okay.
$1, please.
There you are, sir.
'Twas my first dollar I'd ever...
Yeah, so I'm thinking they'll explain it, but my question is, okay, obviously they split apart at some point, and if their burger is so good now, did they change the recipe? I'm guessing they do because Plankton doesn't know what it is, so I'm curious to see how we get there.
The beginning of a beautiful, romantic relationship with money.
With money.
Your burgers are even worse than Stinky's. You
Ah.
can barely keep them down.
Yeah, I was wondering, they said it was good, or actually, if I remember right, they said they were the best looking. And I'm like, well, how did they taste? Did they taste good or they just look good and taste horrible? So I guess now we know.
Now give me a burger. I'm starving.
He's like, they're so bad, we can barely keep them down. Now give me a burger, I'm starving. Ugh,
The very people who ridiculed me are now feasting on my recipe.
gross.
I thought it was our recipe.
I'm ruling their stomachs, and soon I will be ruling their minds.
What about satisfying the customer?
Particles to the customer.
Yeah, and I hear him say this from time to time, and I often wonder, like, what does Plankton want? Like, let's say he got the recipe, he got everything that he wanted and ruled. Like, what does he even want? I don't really know the answer to that. Let me know if you do.
Stop!
Uh-oh.
You're gonna bust it!
Burgers aren't for ruling worlds.
I'm terribly sorry, Eugene. I couldn't hear you. Come closer.
Uh-oh.
Maybe stand on the tile in front of you.
What I was saying was...
Mm.
This wonder! And he always did.
Lies!
Oh, hold on there, me boy. We don't need to go through all that again.
Very touching.
Don't know what you mean.
He's gonna
Why
tell
don't
his
you
side.
Tell them the truth.
Didn't you, Mr. Krabs?
Most of it is true, except for what really happened. We had created the tastiest burger. That's when things became unsavory.
Unsavory. Uh-oh. Greed.
Their money.
And, that does sound a little more like the Mr. Krabs I'm familiar with in a sort of Plankton style, but he wants all the money. That's Mr. Krabs.
But what about satisfying the customers?
Barnacles to the customers.
Mm.
Cash, wallets, bank accounts. Secret recipe.
Give me that!
Stop! You're gonna bust it.
You'll regret this one day! Huh?
Ugh.
Our little squabble only got me part of the recipe.
A pinch of chum.
Gosh, Mr. Plankton, that doesn't sound like the Mr.
Yeah, so my question is, if Mr. Krabs had the rest of the recipe, was it the Krusty Krab recipe we know today, just without the pinch of chum that Plankton ripped off, and then it was good at that point? I guess they'll explain that too. Let's see.
You're both liars. That's not how it happened at all. In those days, I was just starting out as a security system. I recorded the whole thing in my database.
Uh-oh.
Now that's a handsome-looking burger.
You said it, old chum. Attention! Get your Plankton and Krabs patties right here.
Mm.
You think it was a good idea to open in the dump?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't think I would go there to eat no matter how good it was.
What's that music?
I'd know that theme song anywhere. It's Old Man Jenkins.
Mm.
Old Man Jenkins!
I've just been searching for some new shoes for old Betsy.
It would be an honor if you'd be the first to try our delicious burgers.
Why, I'd be happy to.
Ugh. Oh, okay, he likes it. Oh, yeah, he smiled. I'm like, oh, okay, he likes it. And then he just falls over. That's terrible.
Hey-o, old man
KOs.
Jay. I can't believe we poisoned that sweet old guy.
Well, he is old.
That guy's like family to me.
Well, it was your fault
Uh-oh.
the patty was tainted.
You're the one who put too much seaweed sauce in the burger.
I'm taking the recipe and fixing it.
No way, that recipe.
Okay, here we go again.
Stop! You're gonna... You want to fight over this recipe? I'll give you a fight you'll never forget!
Oh,
Well, that's
Uh-oh.
ruined. No use letting this go to
and now
waste.
it's good,
These
huh?
kids will eat anything. I've done
Now
it.
it's good.
I discovered the perfect patty batter.
But does he know what all that stuff was? That's the question.
Plankton was back at the elementary school, but this time he was going it alone.
Mm. Yeah, and they're still in elementary school and they're running businesses. That's a little interesting.
This is my turf.
I think not.
Hey, look, nerd fight.
I got $5 on Rag Boy.
Oh, no.
Ah! We'll let the customers decide whose burger's better. Step right up, gents. Get a delicious chum burger right here.
Uncooked?
Big Johnny will eat anything.
Ugh.
Have a chum burger, Johnny, sir.
Plankton had pieced together his own creation using memory and science.
Oh, no. That's so gross.
I'm gonna try one of Rag Boy's burgers.
You are the first to taste a Krabby Patty.
Trademark.
Flavor! Edible!
Edible.
Actually, hold it down. This is the most flavor-tastic my
Flavor-tastic.
taste buds have ever experienced.
I'll show you, Krabs. I'll steal that cursed recipe from you one day, and I won't stop.
And there we go. But my question is, like, how did he write down what was on that shelf? All this random stuff fell in there, and then it was good. But after that batch is gone, like, how would he know what's in it? I guess is my question.
Woohoo! Ah, my recipe was, is, and always will be the best.
Will you men stop yelling at each other? I can't believe you let a recipe ruin such a wonderful friendship.
Mm-hmm.
You were my only true friend.
Oh, here we go.
Didn't have a president printed on him.
My life has
Money
been
doesn't
nothing
hug
but
back. Money doesn't hug back, meaning he does hug money, but it doesn't hug back, obviously.
All these years I've been trying to steal your formula, but I was really just trying to steal back our friendship.
Really?
It's all I ever really wanted. You and me against the world.
I doubt this.
How about a hug, Krabs, old pal?
I like that planky old chum.
Gonna try to get the
Doesn't this warm
recipe.
your heart, Karen?
I suppose it would if I had one.
I'm sorry, Krabs, old buddy.
Uh-huh.
Me too.
That's what I thought.
Now back off, rag boy.
Uh-oh.
Sabotage!
Uh-oh. All right, well, that's the episode. And yeah, the second that he started asking for a hug and they started talking about how they missed each other, I'm like, this is just a ploy to get that recipe. And it seems like I may have been right there. I did enjoy that one, an unexpected school scene there toward the middle of it. But thank you for that recommendation. Please keep them coming. If you'd like me to continue with SpongeBob, please keep those episode recommendations coming. I'm going to leave the video here. If you're not subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the next video on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.